My first position out of college was in a rural hospital in Iowa. I had an opportunity to join the human resource team, and that really has set a foundation of my continued career over the past 35 years within healthcare. I gained a master's in health service administration, thought I might become a hospital administrator, but actually stayed in the area and focus of human behavior and people management, and I managed and led human resource and recruiting teams, including executive search of various healthcare professionals throughout the Midwest. Over 30 years has spent in the professional service consulting side of the healthcare industry, anything from information technology, management consulting, and advisory services. So certainly have been integrated with the health systems and ambulatory care, physician clinic environment from a consulting perspective. And then through that experience, I've also had an opportunity to serve on a couple boards, both of a regional hospital in the Midwest and a health system. So through those experiences, I get to continue to foster my experience that I gained in my Master's of Health Service Administration, but keep at the forefront that human component, human design, human people element that's been very important throughout my career. And then healthcare has been an area of key focus and consistent as the industry, the service, the patient, providing back is very key and critical. I have 3 or 4 areas, but I'll start with make it a priority. Make it an important priority in your plan. But ultimately, don't take on too much too fast, too quick. Keep some simplicity to that plan, and then you can grow and develop as it evolves. But I would first start with an assessment, being able to know your current state, understanding and getting that data, getting feedback from people with the organization or your customer client, and then ultimately reviewing your policies and procedures, from the organization, and how do you implement some of those DEI strategies into that particular goal-setting plan. Foster inclusive culture. This is so important, and if we get a chance to talk about Divergent, I can share a little bit more as a virtual entity, but being able to foster that inclusive nature in that plan, and how do you bring that forward, and encouraging those diverse equity, inclusion elements throughout the plan. And one item I have found very beneficial for me is to utilize the community that you're in and get involved in diverse settings so that you can look, see, feel, and engage individually and encourage that participation as you continue. So those are 3 or 4 areas that I would look at and advise, and kind of understanding your current state, set some goals and objectives, be able to measure and evaluate and watch, but then foster that inclusivity within the culture. And of course, get involved and active in those diverse settings in your community, with your customers, with your clients, and involving those activities as part of, because you will learn and be able to adapt to the plan you're putting in place. Yeah, for me and at Divergent over the past 8 years, I think first and foremost, you need to make it part of your core values. You need to make it known across and within the organization that is something we are looking at and engaging and is a part of who we are as an entity. So that's very much, I think, the first piece is creating that as a core value. Bringing in diverse perspectives, all layers of the organization. If it's strategy, if it's operation, if it's a new project, a new plan that you're trying to implement, ensure that you're bringing in all layers and diverse perspectives, because that is going to bring a better outcome to the situation and making decisions. Training and education is so important. So I want to, spend just a couple minutes of saying in how we make decisions, we need to train, we need to teach, we need to help individuals understand how those diversity perspectives in making decisions make a difference in that capacity. And of course, any decision making has to have accountability measures. So you want to ensure that you put that accountability in there across your leadership team and amongst your staff, so that equally, it's not a hierarchical situation. It is a well-rounded element throughout the organization. This is essential. I mean, as we look at our healthcare and serving our patient population and the obstacles that each community faces, bringing that representation and that diversity in is a key step that happens. But first and foremost, innovation and creativity, I think you need to really foster, think outside of the box, bring in new range of perspectives and experience and ideas in order to help those folks that are leading the organization with how to, what to, where to. You also need to gain some cultural competence. You know, we don't know everything, so be willing to learn and gain that competence. Be willing to say, I need more information in this area to help my leadership team be effective and efficient. So being able to understand that, accept that, and make the change to learn is very important. You know, I also feel in decision making, when you have the diversity, when you've put in the steps to bring in those perspectives, you're going to see the net results, and those results are going to be better perspectives. That's going to be wider, broadened areas, and it's going to allow new measures to come into consideration that may not have been considered before. So it is essential for our leadership teams to get these components available in their daily work environment, in their ability to make decisions, and incorporate them not once a year with a planning process or on an occasional basis, but consistently, that they have that support and those doors open and those opportunities. Something very important to me. As the Chief Corporate Officer, I'm also the Chief People Officer. Divergent is a virtual organization. Yes, we engage at a client site, but in our roles and functions, we are virtual and have been for 17 years. So this is something very important to me, and we have a culture club. And what that is a representation of every department, every function in the organization. And they come together and meet and look at, how do we survey and gain feedback from our team members? How do we engage in wellness activities, physical, mental, emotional? How do we encourage participation and engagement? And through this, we have created a culture that people aren't in silos, that they have the ability to work and coordinate with one another. We host virtual coffee breaks. We put together a summer grill master. We have a fitness bingo, which allows individuals to share in that growth as individuals. We partner with LinkedIn Learning and their learning initiatives that are available through their repository of learning modules and courses. So that culture club is essential in being able to create that inclusive environment. It's not led by leadership. It is led by individuals in the organization that help drive that. We also use our team channels, and this is a way that we can build some of that cultural competences. We are in both US and Canada, so we need to ensure that we're focused in both of those countries in our employment and our operations. So we use our team engagement and our channel within teams to foster that learning, foster those conversations across the individuals throughout Divergent. And of course, the training and the education in each of these areas that we've talked about are essential and critical, but then also that core value again. If your leaders and executives and owners do not portray DEI as an important element, as a cultural value, it's hard for the rest of the team to witness or experience that as individuals themselves. So we want to create those accountability measures across the organization and ensuring that we are embracing diversity, equity, and inclusion in ways that aren't specific to just one group, but across the entire organization. First and and foremost, I'm honored to be a part of and serve on the DEI committee through CHIME. I have learned so much over the last several months, and the participants and the sharing and hearing what's going on in others' organizations and entities, but also some of the programming and the resolutions that are being found that are so impactful to be able to take forward. And I just truly, as somebody who has background in human behavior, human capability, human psychology, that in the workforce, that element of being open, being engaging, being inclusive is really simple. If you just sit back and put yourself in the other person's shoes, how would you want to be treated in that situation? What matters to you when you receive that message? And I'm just sincerely grateful for the opportunity to share and be a part of.